You're with us on the newsroom. Should separatist hardliner Syed Ali Shah Geelani be given an Indian passport? Well, the PDP certainly seems to think so. The Chief Minister's daughter, Mehbooba Mufti, spoke to the press today saying that on humanitarian grounds, because his daughter is apparently unwell, Syed Ali Shah Geelani should be allowed to go to Pakistan. But each time this man goes to Pakistan, he confabulates with his ISI handlers and plots on destabilizing India. Should this rabid anti-India extremist be given a passport? Well, opinion is strongly divided.
Syed Ali Shah Geelani has repeatedly spewed venom against India, inciting violence in the valley through his hate speeches. And now, the Hurriyat's hawked request for passport sparking off a massive row. Geelani's passport application turning out to be yet another flashpoint in stormy BJP-PDP alliance. A day after central government hardened its stand on Geelani's application, its ally in Jammu and Kashmir, PDP, taking a divergent stand. Setting the tone for yet another war of words, senior PDP leader Mehbooba Mufti openly backing Geelani, asking the government to grant passport to the separatist.
तो आज मेरा ये मानना है कि इस वक्त जो गिलानी साहब, मुझे नहीं मालूम अभी उन्होंने अप्लाई किया कि नहीं किया, दुनिया में किसी भी मुल्क में ऐसी कोई सरकार नहीं होगी जो इंसानियत के नाते एक बेटी को अपने बाप का से मिलने का जो है मौका फराहम करने में कोई रुकावट बन सकती है.
Despite facing heat from its alliance partner, the BJP refusing to budge. But even as BJP and PDP continue to wrangle, wading into controversy, Omar Abdullah accusing the BJP-PDP of match fixing. With government coming under fire from its own ally and opposition in Jammu and Kashmir, will Prime Minister Modi buckle under pressure and grant passport to Hurriyat leader Geelani? Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
It's the patriotism test of the Jammu and Kashmir government. Should Syed Ali Shah Geelani be given an Indian passport? A man who's rabidly anti-India, a man at whose rallies every Friday in downtown Srinagar, Pakistani flags are regularly hoisted. Joining us now on the newsroom showdown this evening is Mehboob Beg, the chief spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, and with us also is renowned filmmaker Ashok Pandit. Mr. Beg, I come to you first. What is the PDP's rationale in batting for a passport for Syed Ali Shah Geelani? He's a Hurriyat hardliner. He hates India. He spews venom. He loves Pakistan, has Pakistani flags being furled at his rallies. Why should a man who doesn't believe in the idea of India be given an Indian passport, Mr. Beg?
That's right. Just give me a minute to explain everything. Let's put everything in proper context. Let's give it a context. Yes, whatever his political ideology and philosophy, and we are fighting it out. It's not a test of patriotism. We have an elected government in place, elected by the people of Jammu and Kashmir. So please, for heaven's sake, don't say that. It gives a wrong impression to the entire country. Having said that, it hasn't happened for the first time. He has been getting visa and passport even during Congress regime. Here, all the separatists, they have been given visa and a passport to travel to all the countries, including Pakistan, even during Congress regime. One. Two, right now, if we can take away politics from this and look at it purely through humanitarian angle, through a human angle, an ailing daughter wants to see her father. I think that is the only thing in the entire thing, and nothing else, nothing more, because we can keep politics apart.
Okay, you've made an opening argument. I want to bring Ashok Pandit in on the fact that in 2011 under the Congress, that time too, a passport was issued to Syed Ali Shah Geelani. If it wasn't a problem then, why should it be a problem now? That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it, Ashok, is that the Prime Minister took strong objection to Hurriyat leaders meeting the Pakistan High Commissioner before the foreign secretaries were to meet in Islamabad. Now, even though it may not have been a problem earlier, is it okay for it to be a problem now, Ashok Pandit?
Because the earlier government made a mistake, the people have elected a new government. It's a PDP-BJP government. So it's not necessary that Mr. Beg and his party and the BJP follow what the earlier government has done. It's a mistake. That's why the people threw them out. And people want that this particular government to take serious action against the terrorists. I want to ask a very simple question to Beg Sahab. On what premises, on what grounds does a government of India issue a passport? There is a proper checking done by the police department, by the various investigating agencies, and the passport is delivered to you. Here we have a man, we are talking about a man who has waged a war against the nation, against the country. What humanity you are talking about? A person who believes in inhumanity, you are talking about humanity about that person? He is a terrorist. So let us decide for once that is a terrorist. Does a terrorist deserve any kind of sympathy?
I want to get Mehboob Beg to respond, because you make an important point that even though it may have been done in the past, most recently in 2011, Mehboob Beg, there's no reason why Syed Ali Shah Geelani should be given a passport again. Remember what the Prime Minister did with the Hurriyat Conference meeting with the Pakistan High Commissioner. He took a principled decision. Just because it happened in the past is no excuse for that same mistake to be allowed to happen again, Mr. Beg.
Yeah, please, why do we make an issue out of a non-issue? We have a system in place. We have elected governments. One in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, elected by the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We have to have trust in both the governments. Two states, state government and government of India are dealing with the issue. I think it's a needless thing to talk about it. We must have trust in our elected governments. Whatever they will do, it will be in the interests of the nation. Nothing will be done which will go against the interests of the nation. So for heaven's sake, let's not make an issue, because we are confronted with many issues, economic, financial issues in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, the unemployment issue. We are trying to make an issue out of a non-issue, to be honest about it.
Ashok Pandit, respond to that. There are bigger economic problems that the government needs to deal with. Let's not whip up frenzy over this.
Beg Sahab, I'm surprised, I'm shocked that a person of your stature, a politician, is saying it's a non-issue. Your leader is saying that passport should be issued to Mr. Geelani. It is an issue for the country. It is an issue for the nation who are nationalist people. How can you give a passport to a terrorist? It's as simple as that. He's a terrorist. Ashok. He has waged a war against the country. Ashok, yes. It is an issue. Economic, Mr. Beg, economic policies will all survive, will all come out only after there is peace in the valley. There has to be peace in the valley.
Ashok Pandit, one of the things that Mehbooba Mufti said, Ashok, hear me. One of the things that Mehbooba Mufti said is that no government can, on humanitarian grounds, deny a father the right to meet his ailing daughter. She's playing the humanitarian card. Do you think that's justification enough to consider granting Syed Ali Shah Geelani, rabid India hater, a passport
if I can
again?
Make a point here.
What?
Just one by one. One by one. I don't want both our guests speaking at the same time. Allow me to draw the line on this debate. I want you to speak one by one, and I want you to speak on my cue. Right now, on the issue of the humanitarian case made by Mufti Muhammad Saeed's daughter, Mehbooba Mufti, I want you, Ashok Pandit, to respond.
Rahul, there is a difference between choosing a person on humanitarian grounds and between two people. Here we have a person, I am saying it again and again, that humanitarian ground has to be thought on people who believe in humanity. Mr. Geelani doesn't believe in humanity. He is responsible for the killings of people in the valley. He is responsible for anti-national war. He is waged a war against the country. Why do we consider a person who is inhuman on humanitarian grounds?
Okay, Mehboob Beg, respond to that. You are essentially asking for an Indian passport to be granted to someone who doesn't swear by the constitution, who doesn't think he's an Indian citizen. Why should someone who doesn't even think he's an Indian citizen be given an Indian passport, Mr. Beg?
Yes, Mehbooba Mufti ji made another very important point. She said, and I quote, she said, We are a country, we believe in human relationships, we believe in relationships, and we have institutionalized some of the relationships and celebrate relationships. Here we are talking about a relationship between, no, just hang on for a minute, between a father and a daughter. Number one. Number two, there is a difference. We are a responsible state. Whether non-state actors believe in the system or not, let's do that. Let's do that.
But it's not only about humanitarianism. When someone like Syed Ali Shah Geelani goes to Pakistan, he meets his handlers in the ISI. He meets those who are plotting to destabilize India. I'm sure you're aware of that. Don't claim that the government is not aware of what Syed Ali Shah Geelani does in Pakistan. The ailing daughter is just a pretext to actually ensure he's in cahoots and in constant touch with his handlers in Pakistan. And you know that he's trying to destabilize India. Why must we be so humanitarian with someone who's least interested in our humanitarian concerns?
Nation security comes first. Let's have faith in our system. Let's have full belief. We must have something which is known as self-belief. We must believe our strength, and democracy is our strength, for heaven's sake. That's our strength. If somebody is inhuman, that doesn't mean that we should meet that with inhuman.
Okay, Ashok Pandit, I have a final comment from you, because the government held back the passport, the visa initially of Priya Pillai, Greenpeace activist who was to travel to the United Kingdom, because they believe that she was indulging in an anti-national activity by deposing before British MPs. Now, if that is reason enough to hold back someone's passport, then what Syed Ali Shah Geelani does with his Pakistani ISI interlocutors is a far graver offence. The government is saying, we are aware of this matter, allow us to take a decision. Do you think that that's all right, or do you believe that the PDP is trying to play politics in ensuring that Geelani generates some sympathy and gets the passport?
See, it's not only PDP. Let us talk about, let's talk about BJP also, Rahul. It's a PDP BJP government. So it's a real test case for the state government to see to it that people who are responsible for killings of people in the valley and who are responsible for waging a war against the nation should be behind the bars and should not be given a passport. Let us not underline, let us not justify the crime. I'm surprised that how Mr. Beg is coming out with big, lectures and speeches of humanities and let us be nice and let us be kind. Did Mr. Geelani think before killing people in Kashmir, before raging a war against the country?
All right, I'm going to leave it over there. A man who wages war against India, a man who believes that Kashmir must join Pakistan, a man who doesn't swear by our constitution and tries his best to destabilize India. He's not an Indian citizen, and unless he swears allegiance to our constitution, unless he proclaims he's an Indian citizen, he doesn't deserve an Indian passport because he thinks he's not Indian. So why should he have the perks and privileges of an Indian passport? The government says they're taking a decision, and this is a story we're tracking very closely. Mehboob Beg and Ashok Pandit for joining us on the newsroom this evening. Thank you very much, gentlemen. For all those who think that Syed Ali Shah Geelani should be given an Indian passport, I want to read from Section 6, Part A of the Indian Passport Act, which says that passports can be refused for visiting foreign countries if the applicant, and remember we're talking about Syed Ali Shah Geelani in this case, engages in activities that are prejudicial to the sovereignty and integrity of India, which is what Syed Geelani does. Part B says the presence of the applicant in any such country, which is Pakistan in this case, is likely to be detrimental to India's security. When he goes and deals with the ISI, that's exactly what happens. Part C says the presence of the applicant in such a country, which is Pakistan, is likely to prejudice India's friendly relations with that country, which again is what Geelani does when he tries to destabilize India, because he believes in Pakistan and not in India. That's where he gets his money from, and I'm really surprised the government is so passionate when it comes to his human rights, wanting to give him a passport instead of ensuring he stays locked up in his home.